Hey guys, I just want you to see it's another lousy, cloudy week here in the Northeast. It has been cloudy and rainy all week. No end in sight. Enough's enough, guys. Let's go in and let's make a video. We are now walking into the studio. As you can see, I've got my tripod set up. There's my Gatorade on my desk. I'm going to need that. Got my notes. My Mac is hooked up and ready to rock. Let's do it, guys. Alright, guys. Hey, everybody. Joe from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Joe DeMarco here. eBay seller Hubcap Joe's top-rated seller and your host for this week's show once again. Today's date is Friday, October 24th. 2014. We are going to be discussing the October Seller Newsletter, Global Shipping Program, Best Listing Practices, and eBay Radio, plus a few other things as well. Let's just get started with a quick rehash of last week's video. Thank you all for watching. In an unrelated item, I put up a video last night about a fake cop, a police impersonator, or some kind of a rogue cop who was covering up his license plate and driving on the FDR Drive after somebody. I don't know what his intentions were, but they definitely weren't good. It's a crime to cover your license plate with a black tarp. But anyway, if any of you guys are interested in that, you can check out the video I put up the other night. I'm going to be putting a few links in today's video. The first link, which you'll see below, don't click it now, later if you want, will be to eBay Radio. I was a guest on eBay Radio the other day. They called me up and they asked me if I wanted to do a segment, and of course I said sure. So they basically gave me my choice of what topic I wanted to discuss, so I chose the Global Shipping Program. And of course they gave me a day's notice. And the funny thing is, I was on eBay Radio Tuesday. So Tuesday morning, one of you guys, one of my subscribers, actually writes to me and says she's having a problem with the Global Shipping Program. What happened was she sent something, it got to Kentucky, but from Kentucky to the country of destination it got damaged. And the buyer sent her pictures to show that the item was damaged, but instead of opening a case, which is the way you have to do it, she went and filed through a refund through eBay. So it got this lady's money hung up in limbo and she couldn't get it back. So it was perfect timing. So when I called in on the eBay Radio show, or rather when they called me and did the interview, I actually presented this lady's case and was able to hopefully work it out. I'm sure you guys have listened to eBay Radio. It's run by Lee Maribel and Jim Griff as we call him. And Griff himself said he would take this lady's case and make it right. So hopefully he did. And if you are that person, if you would like to comment below, go right ahead. I know who it is. I just want to see how it worked out. So that's the first link. The second link, if I have time to drop that in as well, is going to be a document I want you guys to peruse when you have a chance. It's best selling practices. Rather than me sit here and just read it all out to you, it would be too boring. But it's important enough that I think you guys need to see it and read it, and hopefully it'll help you. This particular document came directly from eBay. Not from me, but from eBay, okay? And actually, a friend of mine, one of you guys, had called eBay for assistance, eBay customer service, and they actually sent her this document. She in turn shared it, and I'm sharing it with you guys. Hopefully it'll be helpful. Now, let's move on and let's talk about the October Seller Newsletter, which all of you guys should have in your inbox, in your My Messages on eBay. My mobile sales only were 19%. 19%. I think last time was around 24% or 22%, so mine actually went down. So my first question is, how are your mobile sales doing? A new option has been added called private offers. And I kind of like this. It's for guys who, like myself, who have fixed price listings. All my listings are fixed price with immediate payment required. So, from time to time, people will send me a message saying, Joe, I see you want $100 for these particular hubs. Would you take, let's just say, $85? In which case, I could just respond by sending them a private offer for them only of $85. My rule of thumb when dealing with these people that contact me and offering me less money is, number one, is the offer a reasonable amount? And number two, if it is, I will say to them, if I am willing to reduce the price, are you willing to buy the item today? If they say yes, I will reduce the price if it's reasonable for sure. And I had one just last week that asked me that, and I did reduce the price for him because it was a reasonable offer. Also, they are still pushing extended holiday returns for those of you guys who want to keep your TRS status, or anybody who just wants a boost in search visibility. Remember, November the 1st is just around the corner, and that's when it kicks in. Also, they are still pushing eBay stores. And one of the things they're doing, and some of you guys have contacted me about this, is for those of you guys who are smaller sellers and do not have an eBay store, they're increasing certain fees. Like they used to have a cap of $250 was the most they would clock you on any sale, whether it was, let's just say, $2,500 or $10,000 or $20,000. Well, they're removing that cap of $250 and changing it to a $750 cap. But it only is going to affect people who do not have eBay stores. So Joey's not affected. Me, I'm a big fan of eBay stores, all right? As you guys probably know, there are 3 levels. Your basic store, your premium store, and your anchor store. I have the middle of the road premium store, which comes with 500 free listings per month. I'd like to have more than 500. I could use them, but it only comes with 500. And right now that's the best store for me. If you guys are serious sellers, I recommend an eBay store to every one of you. But if you're only listing maybe 10 items a week, then maybe not. Also, defects. We haven't talked about this in a few weeks. I'd like to know right now, guys, what is your defect rate? My defect rate has gone up slightly to 0.63%. And that's because I had a guy leave me a neutral feedback the other day. He bought an item from me that was described as blemished. He gets the item and he says, well, the item is blemished. Well, of course it is. He didn't want to return it. No. It's a rare item. It was for a Jaguar. He wanted to keep it, but it was blemished, so he left me a neutral. And this is one of those situations where it actually doesn't help me to ask the guy to revise his feedback. Because even if he revised it to a positive, I'd still get the defect. And so would you, if it was you. So, I mean, eBay makes it unattractive to ask for a feedback revision. So therefore I didn't. I'll keep the neutral. Nobody likes a neg though. A neg is the worst kind of sin on eBay. Thankfully, I'm still at 100% feedback and everything's been rocking along. How have your sales been this last week? Do you know yesterday I went for a 24-hour period with no eBay sales whatsoever? Highly unusual. The market is very unstable, I've been noticing. There are some days where my phone will be ka-chinging like crazy, one after the other, and then the next day I'll go 24 hours with nothing. I'm not sure what to attribute that to, but I don't like it. I like a lot of action and I like a lot of sales. There is going to be a webinar next Wednesday, October 29th at 11 a.m. California time or 2 p.m. Eastern time. It'll be about seller performance. Ways to increase your seller performance. I realize most of you guys probably know this stuff, as I really do too, but I always make it my business to attend these webinars. They are like a free gift. All you have to do is register. If you don't know how to do it, it's very easy. ebay.com/webinars. Then click the appropriate webinar, type in your eBay account, and you're registered. As I said, I'm a big fan of these things. I love when they put them out. I watch every one. And quite often I'll type in a question or a comment and see if they read it on air. And I'd say about half the time they do. So again, I like that eBay does put these webinars out for us. I think they're a big help. And I hope they keep doing it. I would like to know now, are there any particular eBay issues that you have that we have not yet talked about? Whether it be any glitches. Now remember last week, guys, I talked about glitches and I forgot who it was. Somebody told me that basically some of the glitches are caused by the browser you're using. On my Mac, I have both Safari and Firefox, and it happens on both of them. So one of you guys suggested that I use Chrome, and I may do that, but I just think it's weird that the same glitches occur on both Fox and Safari, and quite a few of you guys contacted me and said you too experienced the same glitches. Canceled transactions. Last week I told you the story about a guy who canceled the transaction maybe 20 minutes after I printed the label. Do you know the same exact thing happened again this week? A guy bought an item from me, did a buy it now, paid with PayPal. And when I saw what the item was, right away I said to myself, this guy is going to be trouble. Because it's an item that's caused me problems in the past because people don't freaking read. I'm very tempted to bring the item on camera and try and explain it to you, but the thing is, a lot of people won't understand the difference if I try and explain it to them if they're not a real car person. You have to be a car person to really understand this, but it's like night and day. And what upsets me is I go through the trouble of explaining what wheel it fits and what wheel it doesn't. Because I've had this problem before with this very item, and people just look at the picture and they think it's what it's not, and they buy it. So what this guy basically did was, he looked at my item, looked at the picture, guessed that was it, and bought it. Waited 2 to 3 hours, went back to the listing, reread it correctly, and realized he screwed up. And he didn't contact me and say, Joe, would you please cancel the transaction? I made a mistake, I'm a doofus. He just said, cancel the transaction, I bought the wrong thing. Like it's, you know, business as usual. So I canceled it. I mean, there's no other way. You have to cancel when they want to cancel. And of course, I had already printed out the label, so I had to avoid that. But luckily, it was a cheaper item. It wasn't another freaking $35 label like last time. God almighty. But alright. There wasn't a heck of a lot in this month's seller newsletter that we can talk about, so I'm going to keep it fairly short. Let's do some rehashing right now. Number one, if you'd like to, click the first link. It's only about 14 minutes long, and you can hear my segment on eBay Radio where I talk about the global shipping program. I'm not promoting myself here, guys. I just am suggesting you listen to it so that it may answer a few questions you have like it helped out this one particular subscriber. I'm hoping that the eBay radio segment about the global shipping program will help you. If you have any questions, comment below. Also, as I said, I'm going to try and put a link to a document from eBay for best-selling practices. You know, it'll hopefully help you. One thing I talked about months ago, believe it or not, and some people laughed at me, I said, do not use colored font in your text. Well, guess what? It says clearly in the memorandum from eBay, do not use colored font. Isn't that crazy? That's what it says. So hopefully that'll help you too. Anyway, guys, I'm Crazy New York Driver, you're not. Thanks for watching. Comments or questions below. And I will see you guys next week. Don't forget the webinar this Wednesday, 11 a.m. out west, or 2 p.m. here on the East Coast, the very cloudy East Coast. Thanks for watching. Rock on, make some sales, and we'll do this again next Friday. Bye.